kept slipping between the rails. So they gave him new wheels with broad tires. The other engines teased him. "Look at his steamroller wheels," they laughed. "You shut up," Sir Handel snorted. "You're jealous. My wheels are special, like Peter Sam's funnel. Now I'll go faster than any of you." "You'll never." Skarloey winked. "With your grand new wheels, Sir Handel," he said gravely, "you're just the engine to tackle George." "Who's George?" George was their steamroller. He chuffed to and fro, making rude remarks when the engines passed. "Railways are no good," he would say. "Pull 'em up, turn 'em into roads." "Railways are no good. Pull 'em up, turn 'em into roads." "Don't worry any more," said Sir Handel importantly, when they told him about George. "Leave him to me. I'll soon send him packing." Next morning, George was standing near the halt by the level crossing. "Ah," he said, "you're Sir Handel, I suppose." "And you, I suppose, are George. Yes, I've heard of you." "And I've heard of you. You swank around with steamroller wheels, pretending you're as good as me." "Actually," said Sir Handel sweetly, "I'm better. Goodbye." He puffed away. One afternoon, Sir Handel had to bring a special load down after the last train had gone. When he reached the road, he saw George trundling home. "Beep, beep, beep, beep." George took no notice. He trundled along close to the track. There was barely room to pass. Beep, 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 beep. Sir Handel slowed and crept cautiously alongside. "Get out of my way, you great clumsy road hog," he hissed. "I don't move for imitation steamrollers," retorted George with spirit. They lumbered along side by side. There was a crash. The brake van tilted sideways, and the guards scrambled out to find George's front roller nuzzling his footboard. The two drivers were hotly arguing whose fault it was. A policeman strolled up in time to stop the argument turning to fisticuffs. And when Sir Handel's fireman came back with Rusty and Mr. Hugh, they all set to work clearing up the mess. So Sir Handel was able to bring his train on when George had backed himself away. Next day, the workmen put up a fence between road and railway, and then went away, taking George with them. This was because they'd finished their work. But Sir Handel thought he had made George go away. He was more conceited than ever, and talked everlastingly about steamrollers. "Oh dear," whispered Skarloey one evening, "he's worse than ever. I'm sorry my plan was no good." "Never mind," said Rusty. "We'll think of something else." But they had no need to do that, for some boys came. Almost at once, one called out, "Look, here's Sir Handel. He raced a steamroller last week. The roller nearly beat him too. It was most exciting." Sir Handel never mentioned steamrollers now.